Sahana vavatu Sahano bhunaktu Sah viryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Janmadyasya yatonvayaditaratah chartheshvabhijñasvarat tene brahma hridaya adikavaye muhyanti yatsurayah tejo varimrudam yatha vinimayah yatra trisargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi Sachidanandarupaya Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Dvaipayano viraha katara ajuhava Tam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Yes. Parīkshit asks a question to Shuka Brahmarshi. O Guru, how does Bhagavan creates, sustains and dissolves this universe? How does he do it? So this was the question asked. So Shuka Brahmarshi first of all glorifies Bhagavan, does the stuti of Bhagavan who does this Srishti Sthiti Laya. So that stuti we have seen. After having prostrated unto Bhagavan and his Guru, now Shuka Brahmarshi answers this question. So Shuka Brahmarshi says, O Parīkshit, O King, whatever question you are asking now, the same question was asked by Nāradajī to Brahmājī. So what was that dialogue, conversation, that I will narrate it to you. Because the same question was asked. So Brahmājī had given answer to Nāradajī. So what that answer was, I will tell it to you. So now whenever you find such quotation, understand it is to show that whatever knowledge is going to be given, this knowledge was already there. So Shuka Brahmarshi is saying that whatever knowledge I am going to give you, it is not mine, it has come from the parampara. Bhagavan gave it to Brahmājī, Brahmājī gave it to Nāradajī, Nāradajī gave it to Vedavyasa Rishi, and Vedavyasa Rishi gave it to me. So there is a Jñāna-paramparā. And it is this Jñāna-paramparā which is giving this knowledge to you. So it is not mine. This is the point. So one day, Nāradajī approached Brahmājī. So what was the condition of Brahmājī at that time? He said, Prajapatir dharmapatihi ekada niyaman bhadram prajanaman vichan atishtat swarthakamai kamyaya. So that Brahmājī, after having gained the blessing from the Lord for the creation, so he was thinking, he was doing austerity, so that He was thinking, in what ways can I do welfare to my creation? So Brahmājī, after creating all the beings, now he becomes the father. So as a father and mother, what is the attitude of parents towards the children? It is always love. It is always the welfare of the children, isn't it? So this Prajapati, this Brahmājī, he was doing austerity, tapas. For what? For Bhadram Prajanam Anvichan, desiring the welfare of all the beings. What all things can I do so that all the beings, they walk the path of dharma and Bhadram. Bhadram means all auspicious things should happen to my children, with this feeling. So for this he was performing austerity, etc. At that time, Nāradajī approached Brahmājī. Now what is the relation between Nāradajī and Brahmājī? Nāradajī is the mind-born son of Brahmājī. Mind-born son. Sanakadi Rishis are also mind-born children of Brahmājī. So this Nāradajī approached Brahmājī. Now what kind of Nāradajī? Now here is a description. So this description shows what are the qualifications a seeker should have in order to gain this knowledge. So this verse says, Tam Nāradav Priyatamaha Rikthadanamanuvrataha Shushrushamana Shilena Prashrayena Damena Cha. So to this Brahmājī, Nāradajī approached. What kind of Nāradajī? That Nāradajī which was Priyatamaha. He was extremely dear to Brahmājī. Brahmājī loved him very much. Why did he love him? Because he had these virtues. What are the virtues? Anuvrataha, very, very obedient. Shushrushamanaha, always serving his father with all love and reverence. Shilena, an embodiment of good, virtues. Prashrayena, very, very humble. Damena, very disciplined. These are all the qualifications of Nāradajī, because of which Brahmājī loved Nāradajī very much. So why this is mentioned? This is mentioned so that we also may cultivate these values. Unless these values are there, a guru's grace and blessings will not enter us. So when we are asking questions to a teacher, may we have these qualifications so that the teacher, with the overflowing love for the student, pours out the knowledge unto him. So with this attitude, Nāradajī approached Brahmājī and then he asked certain questions. What are the questions? Deva Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tad Vijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam Yadrupam Yadadishthanam Yata Srishtamidam Prabho Yat Samstham Yat Param Yaccha Tat Tattvam Vada Tattvataha. So what is the question asked? O Deva Deva, O Lord of Lords, Namastestu, my prostration unto you. Hey Bhuta Bhavana, a creator of all beings, my prostration. Hey Purvaja, my prostration. The firstborn, Purvaja. So now what is the question asked? Hey Bhagavan, please give me the knowledge of the self. But I have certain few questions also to ask you. What is the question? O Father, it is said that you were the first, being, Purvaja. First among all beings, you were the one. Before you, there was nobody. You are the one who has created all the beings in this world. So naturally, I am tempted to understand that you are the supreme being. You are the Lord himself. There was nobody equal to you. There was nobody higher than you. So what it means? It means that you are the Supreme Lord. Right? And you are the one who has created all of us. So therefore, definitely, you must be the highest. But at the same time, I have another doubt. The doubt is, it is said that you did lot of tapas in order to create. You meditated on someone in order to create. Now the very fact that you meditated on someone proves that there is somebody higher than you. But at the same time, we don't see anyone higher than you because you are the firstborn. Now I am confused. Please tell me, are you really the highest one, or there is somebody higher than you? Nice question. So if you are the highest one, please tell me, how do you create this universe? What is the way you create, sustain and dissolve this universe? If you are the highest, please tell me. So this is the knowledge which I want to know. Well, listening to this answer, Brahmājī was very happy. He said, Samyak karunikasyedam vatsate vichikitsitam yadaham chodita saumya bhagavat virya darshane. Oh my dear son, I am so happy that you have asked such a wonderful question. Because now, because of this question, I have been given a chance to glorify that Supreme Lord. Nānratam tava tacchapi yathamam prabravishi bhoh Avidya-paramparā etavatvam yatohi me. What you are saying is not absolutely untrue. What you are saying is true. That I am the one who has created everything. That I was the firstborn. Everything is true, but there is somebody higher than me. There is somebody higher than me. So he says, there is a Bhagavan, and this Bhagavan is such that other than this Bhagavan, there is nothing in this world. Whatever we think exists actually doesn't exist. What exists is only Bhagavan. This is the truth. And now, as far as my creationist is concerned, I am creating only that which was already there. I don't create anything new. What was already there, that only I create. Just like Yena swarochisha vishwam rochitam rochayamyaham yatharkognir yatha somaha yatharkshagrahataraka. Just like the sun, the moon, the stars, they illumine the world which is already there. In the same way, I only create the world which was already there. I don't create anything new. But because people are deluded by the Maya, they think I am the Loka Guru. They think I am the creator of the whole universe. Actually, I am not the one. I am also a Jiva just like you. I am also a Jiva just like you. The only difference is I am the firstborn Jiva. That's all. Tasyapi drashturishasya kūtastasya srujyam srujami srishtoham ikshayaivaabhichoditaha. That Bhagavan who is Drashta, the ultimate witness, who is Akhilatmanaha, the self of all beings, who is Kūtastaha, imperishable. By His grace and command, I create. I create what has to be created. The ability to create is given by Him. The resources to create also is given by Him. The method of creation is also given by Him. I don't do anything. I am a poor Jiva just like you. That Bhagavan is the Supreme. How does He create this universe? Why does He create the universe? Now comes a detailed discussion of all that. So before entering into this discussion, let us have the fundamentals of Vedanta clear. So some time we will spend on that. So what is this Vedanta? What does it say? So first let us start with identification theory. Very many have heard it. Once again I will just brush it. What is identification theory? So this is the fundamental of Vedanta. Understand this fundamental and then we will enter. Otherwise everything will be a mess. What does identification theory say? When entity A identifies with entity B, properties of B appear to be the properties of A. When entity A identifies with entity B, properties of B appear to be the properties of A. For example, a mother, that is entity A, child, entity B. Mother, because of her love and attachment to the child, mother is identified with the child. So with this identification, what happens? Whatever happens to child, the same thing happens to mother. When the child is miserable, mother is miserable. When the child is sick, mother feels that sickly feeling. When the child is, comes first in the class, it is the mother who is happy, isn't it? Whatever happens to the child, as though it happens to mother, because mother is identified with the child. This is called identification theory. Whatever you are identified with, the properties of that appear to be your property. Right? Another famous example is movie theater example. So what is that example? When you identify with the characters of the movie, whatever the character undergoes, the same thing you also undergo. The hero is happy, you are happy. Hero is miserable, you are miserable. Hero is crying, you are crying. Why? Because you are identified with the hero. Correct? Wherever there is identification, what you are identified with, that thing will have the power to affect you. Whatever happens to that will happen to you. It need not happen to you. If it happens to that thing, it will affect you. This is the law. Clear? Yes. Now come to the Vedanta. In Vedanta also we have two entities. One is consciousness, the other is matter. Entity A is called consciousness, entity B is called matter. So what is matter? Anything made of 5 elements is matter. What are the 5 elements? Akasha, space, Vayu, air, Agni, fire, water, Jala, Prithvi, earth. 5 elements. Anything made of 5 elements is called matter. So these are the two entities, consciousness and matter. Sometimes consciousness is called Brahman, matter is called then Maya. Sometimes consciousness is called Prakriti, Purushaha, matter is called Prakriti. Sometimes consciousness is called Atma, matter is called Anatma. Sometimes consciousness is called Drashta, matter is called Drishya. Sometimes consciousness is called Kshetrajñah, matter is called Kshetra. Different terms, but the content is the same, essence is the same. One is consciousness, the other is matter. So matter is that which is made of 5 elements. The nature of matter is Jada, consciousness is Chetana or Chaitanya. So matter, we have seen, they are nothing but 5 elements. So what all comes under this 5 elements? The whole world which we are seeing, it is nothing but 5 elements, so it is nothing but Prakriti, matter. Come one step nearer. Body. What is this body? It is also made of 5 elements because the body is nourished by food. Food is 5 elements, therefore body is also matter. What about mind? Mind is also matter because mind functions because you take food. If you don't take food, your mind will stop functioning. Mind will have no energy. It has no nourishment. It can't function. Though therefore, mind is also made of subtle matter. Intellect also is made of subtle matter. So thoughts are basically matter alone. There is only one thing which is not matter, and what is it? Consciousness. Consciousness is the only one thing which is not matter. And what is the nature of consciousness? This consciousness is Sat, Chit, Ananda Swarupa. It is of the nature of existence. It is of the nature of absolute existence. It is of the nature of independent existence. It is of the nature of existence which can never become non-existent. Therefore, it is called Sat. Sat means truth. Sat means existence. This is the nature of consciousness. Therefore, it is immortal. There is no death because there is no non-existence. It always exists. In fact, this alone exists. Even the matter exists because it borrows its existence from consciousness. Matter has no independent existence. It exists only because of consciousness. So that is called independent existence, absolute existence, undeniable existence. This is Sat. Chit means consciousness, that knowing principle, that because of which you know, that because of which you are aware. That knowing principle, that awareness principle is called a Chit or consciousness. You are conscious of everything because of consciousness. You are conscious of nothing because of consciousness. Everybody is conscious that consciousness is none other than this Purusha. Chit. The third one is Anand. What is the nature of this consciousness? It is of the nature of bliss, happiness. How much happiness? Infinite happiness. That is why it's called Ananda. Ananda comes from the term Ananta. Ananta means infinite. That which is infinite will have infinite bliss. So this is the one. So what is the nature of consciousness? It is immortal. It is blissful. It is a state of knowing. It is a state of being. Right? It is absolutely perfect. And this consciousness is none other than my true nature. This consciousness is none other than me, myself. It is my real nature. This is me. That is why this consciousness is called Atma. Atma means I. The I. The true I in me is this consciousness. So what is the nature of this I? This I is absolutely perfect. It is absolutely divine. It is the most auspicious. It is the most perfect. Everything that you desire in life is there in this Atma already. There is nothing which you can desire more. So this is the nature of consciousness. Now what is the mistake you have done? You have done the mistake of identification. So what is identification theory? When you identify with something else, that something else becomes your experience. So what is the mistake we have done today? Instead of identifying with this consciousness, now I am identified with the body. So what will be my experience? Body related properties will be my experience. I will no more experience the properties of consciousness. I will experience only the properties of the body. Now what is the property of the body? Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyate. 6-fold modifications. It exists, it is born, grows, matures, decays, dies. Now will you be happy with such an imperfect body? You, the consciousness who is immortal, now because you are identified with a body which is a mortal body, perishing body, now because you are identified with a perishing body, what is your experience? Your experience is, I will also perish someday or the other. I will also die someday or the other. What is going to die? Not consciousness, not you. What is going to die is only body. But because of identification with the body, you feel as though you are going to die. Just like today, I feel as though my date of birth is the date of birth of the body. And this I feel because I am identified with the body. Because of this identification, date of birth of the body becomes my date of birth. Date of death of this body becomes as though my date of death. Really speaking, you are not dying. You cannot die even if you want to. Only the body dies. But because of my identifications with the body, I feel as though I am going to die. Whatever happens to the body, I feel as though it is happening to me. Body is becoming old. I feel I am getting old. Body is sick. You say, I am sick. What does the scripture say? All these are mere illusion. Actually, nothing has happened to you because you are imperishable, immortal. Nothing can happen to you. But because of identification, you feel as though these things are happening to you. So if I want to get rid of all sense of imperfection, what should I do? You got into trouble because of identification. So therefore the solution is disidentification. This is all what the Vedanta says. Happiness is your nature. Immortality is your nature. You don't have to create it. You are already that. The only thing is, pay attention to what is given to you. What is yours. Stop identifying with what is not yours. And identify with what is yours, what is you. That is why in Vedanta, the most important thing is knowledge. All the problem has started because of ignorance. Ignorance caused problems can go only through knowledge. Suffering is because of ignorance. So end of suffering is only through knowledge. Jnānenaiva tu kaivalyam. Right? Everyone has this desire. This desire is natural. You need not put an end to this desire. The desire to live forever and ever. Everybody has this desire. Even an ant has the desire. What is the desire? I should always exist. This desire is natural. The second desire is, I should be happy all the time. This desire is also natural. From where did this desire come from? This desire came because it is your nature that there is no death for you. Immortality is your nature, though therefore naturally you will desire immortality. There is nobody in this world who desires death, who desires non-existence. There is no one. In the same way, there is nobody in this world who desires sorrow. Impossible. Your nature is happiness, so therefore you will desire happiness alone. Now, how to fulfill this desire? Vedanta says there is only one way. Try to know who you are. You are already that. You don't have to do anything to get it. Everything is already there. Just pay attention to what you have. Bas. Is this clear? Yes. Now, what is the mistake we do? A person who does not have this knowledge, what will be his condition? His condition is total identification with the body, mind, intellect. He is consciousness, but now what is his condition? His condition is consciousness identified with the BMI. Consciousness plus BMI is what we call as Jivatma. Definition. Consciousness plus BMI is what we call as ego. Ahankaraha. And this is what is called as ignorance. So now this person consider himself to be this BMI, this limited BMI, imperfect BMI, perishing BMI. A person who is identified with this, when he looks within, will he experience Ananda? He cannot experience Ananda because what he is seeing is imperfection. What he is seeing is limitation. With limitation you can never be happy. So therefore, he doesn't find happiness inside. He is only finding limitation. So inside there is no happiness. So where will he search happiness? Outside. In the outer world. And he finds that whenever he indulges in the pleasures of the world, whenever he experiences the objects of the world, there is little happiness. So he thinks happiness is there. Actually, what is that happiness? It's a reflected happiness. Whenever you see any reflection, understand the real thing is just the opposite of where the reflection is. He's only seeing the reflected happiness, and he misunderstands that this reflected happiness is the real happiness. And thus, he chases the world of things, beings, and situations. So what is the first mistake? The first mistake is avidya. Avidya means ignorance about oneself. He doesn't know who he is. From avidya comes kama, desire. Desire for what? Desire for happiness. What else? Desire for security, desire for happiness. From avidya comes kama, desire. Desire itself is an expression of ignorance. Because you need not desire what you already have. You don't desire what you already have. You only desire what you don't have. Now this egoistic person, because of his ignorance, he doesn't see this ananda. So therefore he thinks ananda is something to be acquired from the outer world. Therefore, from avidya comes kama, desire. From kama comes karma, actions. So he is putting forth actions in order to gain the objects of desire. Because according to his understanding, these objects of desires are going to make me happy. Is this much understood? Yes. Now let us proceed to next. What happens when he performs karma? Now, here, Bhagavan is giving 5 terms. Now, all the discussions are meant for the ajnani jiva. Keep this in mind. For a jnani jiva, it's over. He knows that this consciousness is everything. It is the very support of the whole world. Matter is over. For him, creation is not needed. Because there is no more desire. From avidya comes kama. From vidya comes akama. There is no desire. Now when there is no desire, there is no action. There is no need to perform action, and since there is no desire or any action, creation disappears for him. There is no creation. So creation is for whom? Creation is created by the Jiva himself, who is none other than Ishvara, who has misunderstood himself. So who is creating the world? Jiva himself is creating the world, and Jiva has the ability, capacity to create the world, because this Jiva is not Jiva, he is none other than Bhagavan himself. And now when Bhagavan has decided something, he will have the ability also to create it. You understood? So therefore it is said, what is it said? Karya karana kartrutve dravya jnana kriyashrayah badnanti nityada muktam mainam purusham gunaha. This Purusha, this supreme being, the supreme Lord of the universe, because of his ignorance, because of his identification with the BMI, because of the identification with the Prakriti, because of his identification with the Gunas, they are all same. The 3 Gunas. Now he has reduced to the status, a miserable status of a Jiva, and now he is desiring happiness. And with this desire for happiness, he is performing actions in the world. Now these are the 5 things which you will find in creation. What are they? Dravyam karma cha kalascha swabhavo jiva evacha Vasudevat paro brahman nachanyorthosti tattvataha. In this world, other than these 5, there is nothing else. And these 5, they are supported by Bhagavan himself. What are the 5 things? Dravyam, karma, kala, swabhava, jiva. Dravya, karma, Kala, Swabhava, Jiva. So now a Jiva is born. Remember, we are talking of which Jiva? Ignorant Jiva. Who is an ignorant Jiva? The one who doesn't know that he is Ishvara. Such a Jiva is called ignorant Jiva. What about Jnani Jiva? For him there is no creation. Matter is over. It is called Atyantika Pralaya. Once a Jiva realizes his true nature, for him there is Pralaya. There is no creation at all. For him there is only one experience, Bhagavan alone, which is the self. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. This is his experience. Now we are talking of Jiva who is ignorant. Right? So now there is desire in him to be happy, and he performs so many actions in this world. These actions are called karma. So when do you say karma? Karma is not mere action. When there is kartrutva bhava, there arises karma. What is kartrutva bhava? Actions performed by the BMI with identification with the BMI is called kartrutva, a sense of doership. All actions are performed by the body, mind, intellect. Consciousness doesn't do anything. But when consciousness gets identified with the acting body, action performing body, now this Jiva, who is none other than consciousness, feels as though I am doing it. So the term used here is Karya Karana Kartrutva. Karya is the effect, Karana is the cause, Kartrutva is the sense of doership. Now what is the effect? Karma phala is the effect. What is the cause? Karma is the cause. And these two are connected by Kartrutva, a sense of doership. I have done action, therefore I should go through the fruits of the action. I should enjoy the fruits. That sense of doership and enjoyership, it is called Kartrutva or Bhoktrutva. Now let us discuss this karma in detail. So what are the 5 things? Dravya, Karma, Swabhava, Kala, Jiva. Now who is this Jiva? Ignorant Jiva who doesn't know himself. Now he performs karma. Why does he perform karma? Because of kama, because of desire. Now, any action when it is done, that action has the power to produce result, which is called as karma phala. Any action will produce results. Every karma will produce karma phala. Based on what will it produce karma phala? Based on kala and swabhava. Under the influence of kala and swabhava, karma done by a jiva will produce karma phala. Now what is kala? Kala means time. So results are produced in time. What is swabhava? Swabhava means laws of nature. Results are produced according to the laws of nature. Right? When jiva performs action, these actions under the influence of kala, time, according to swabhava, laws of nature, will produce karma phala. And all these are happening at dravya level. Dravya means matter. What is dravya? Nothing but 5 elements. Space, air, fire, water, earth. Whatever you see in this world, it is dravya. The solid material what you see is dravya. And the modifications accordingly happen in dravya. So these are the 5 important things. Jiva, Karma, Kala, Swabhava, Dravya. Jiva performing action, these action getting matured under the influence of Kala and Swabhava and bringing out modifications in Dravya. Is it clear? For example, I sow a seed. Suppose it's a mango seed. Right? So what will come out of a mango seed? When it will come, what will come? When is decided by Kala, what will come is decided by Swabhava. And modification happens at the Dravya level, at the matter. The seed transforms itself into a plant. So modification happens at the Dravya level. Is it clear? Right? Now we are talking of which Jiva? We are talking of ignorant Jiva. Now, for an ignorant Jiva, the whole creation is, the purpose of whole creation is only one: take the Jiva to Ishvara. This is the purpose of creation. Now, how does it happen? It happens at 4 levels. Using these gunas called Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, you see how this Jiva is slowly taken, slowly, higher to the Ishvara level. So what happens is, these are the things happen. First, knowledge. The ability to know. So here it is called Dravya Jnana Kriya Shrayaha. In this world, these are the 3 Shaktis, powers. In Prakriti, you will find 3 powers. What are they? Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Dravya Shakti. Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, both comes together. It is the power of Sattva. Ichha Shakti and Jnana Shakti is the power of Sattva. Kriya Shakti is the power of Rajas. Dravya Shakti is the power of Tamas. So in this world, what is this Jiva doing? Now these are the stages in which he does something and learns lesson. Number 1, with the power of Sattva, he knows. With the power of Sattva, he desires. With the power of Rajas, he does. With the power of Sattva, he experiences and learns lesson. These are the things. Knowledge, desire, action, experience. And according to experience, what will be the experience? Only to pain or pleasure. Sukha, dukkha. And based on this experience, he will either reinforce the knowledge or correct the knowledge. Are you getting it? To give an example, a child sees the fire. The fire is so beautiful, so bright and brilliant. So what is the knowledge of the child? The knowledge is fire is wonderful. Now comes a desire. What is the desire? Let me go and catch it, grasp it. The desire comes. What happens to the desire? Becomes action. He goes and touches the fire. What happens to the experience now? Heat. His hand gets burnt. Immediately he pulls his hand. Now what is the experience? Pain. Now with this pain, what happens to his knowledge? The knowledge is corrected. No. This is not something cold. This is hot. Never touch it. Knowledge has been corrected. You got it? First, you have a knowledge. Knowledge may be right knowledge or wrong knowledge. You have some knowledge. With this knowledge, you desire. Desire is for happiness, remember. You apply knowledge for happiness. Knowledge is not for knowledge's sake. Knowledge is for happiness' sake. So knowledge takes the form of desire. Desire takes the form of action. After action, there is an experience of the results. The experience can be either one of the two, pain or pleasure. If it is pleasure, you will reinforce the knowledge. The knowledge becomes stronger. If there is pain, then you correct the knowledge. You come to know that this is not knowledge, this is ignorance. You replace the ignorance with knowledge. This is the process of learning. Everyone has to learn this way only. There is no other way. And these powers, power to know, power to desire, power to do, power to experience, these are the functions of the 3 gunas. Now where is the function of tamoguna here? You know and you do, but in the process you get tired. You need rest. Dravya Shakti is the one which puts you to sleep so that your body and the senses can take rest. This is Dravya Shakti. Dravya means matter. So when you sleep, you become a dull bundle of matter. Where there is no knowing power, there is no doing power. And therefore it is called Dravya Shakti. As though that person has become a bundle of matter when he sleeps. This is the power of Tamoguna. So that you will get enough rest, so that further you can continue the process of acquiring knowledge and the process of evolution. Now and then rest is needed. Mother Nature forces rest upon you because she knows the system cannot take overload. The Jiva by itself cannot rest. The Vasanas will not allow it to rest. So Mother Nature, because of her blessing, we go to sleep. So that we are fresh for the next day, so that we can continue this journey of evolution, continue the journey of gaining knowledge. And this happens with the power of three. Power of Sattuguna, power of Rajoguna, power of Tamoguna. Now how does a person become knowledgeable? Everyone has to go from Tamas to Rajas, from Rajas to Sattva, and then beyond Sattva. This is the process. It may take millions and millions of births. And we don't know, by God's grace, we don't know which level we are in, thank God. Everything is kept a secret. The whole truth is hidden. We don't know at what level of evolution we are. That is in a way good, because otherwise what will happen is we become discouraged. Suppose somebody tells you, after 1,000 births only you will get liberated. Finished. All the inspiration to put forth work will go. Isn't it? So therefore, compassionate Lord has kept everything hidden. Though all information is there in the brain. Everything is there in the brain. Anadikala, what all births you have gone through, in which all embodiments, everything is told. But by God's grace, we are not aware, and we need not know also. The past should not affect the present. The past lessons should be learned, but the past incidences need not be remembered. And past lessons come along with us in the form of samskaras. Right? Now, in what is the way in which a jiva evolves? Remember, knowing, desiring, doing, experiencing, based on the experience, correct the knowledge. This is the process. So in the beginning, the jiva feels, what is his knowledge? His knowledge definitely will be erroneous knowledge. A tamasic person. So what is his condition? He feels that whenever I sleep, there is happiness. Whenever I rest, there is happiness. Whenever I don't take responsibility, there is happiness. So therefore, sleep is happiness, rest is happiness, idling away the time is happiness. This is his understanding. That is his knowledge. So based on his knowledge, what kind of action will he produce? Sleeping and resting, that's all. But then Mother Nature is intelligent. Hunger and thirst is there. Now what to do? He cannot rest. So he has to work. He has to earn money. Because only money can give you food. Food is necessary. So therefore helplessly he works. But as he works, he comes to know the glory of money. What is the glory of money? The more money you have, the more comforts. If you have more money, then you can sleep on a comfortable bed in a palatial building. If you have money, then you can have very, very tasty and delicious food. So therefore, these desires for sense pleasures make him work harder. So slowly what is happening? This tamasic fellow is going into rajas. Now his knowledge also has changed. Mere sleeping is not happiness. Lot of luxuries and comforts, that is happiness. And luxuries and comforts come with money. So therefore money is happiness. Now see, the knowledge has changed. Now when the knowledge has changed, does his desire also will change? What will be the desire? Let me make more and more of money, by hook or crook. That desire will lead that person to such actions. all crooked, wicked, immoral, illegal actions. And such actions will produce karma phala based on kala, based on swabhava. Everything happens based on kala and swabhava, don't forget. Under the influence of time, under the influence of law. Now what is the law? As you sow, so shall you reap is a law. It's a swabhava, it's a nature. So when such a person does all kinds of vicious actions, so what happens? Such situations are formed where he is trapped. Modifications happen in dravya. He is caught by the police. He is put behind bars. Now all those things are modifications in dravya, the elements. Now he is in the jail. He is suffering. His power, influence, nothing could help him. Now he changes his knowledge. Now this suffering again changes the knowledge. Now what is his knowledge? Mere money is not happiness. Clean money is happiness. He changes. So again he works hard. Now by that time thousands of births would have gone. That's a different thing. So many births already would have passed. So Bhagwan gives another opportunity for him, because his name, everything is gone. Because he is behind bars and in all newspapers his name has come. Now there is no possibility of starting afresh. So therefore that embodiment is dead. Now he gets new birth so that he can start life afresh. All the experiences are forgotten. The slate is wiped clean. He also has forgotten what all has happened in the past, what all crimes he has done. But those samskaras are with him. Lessons, whatever he has learned, it is with him. What is the lesson learned? Never ever live an unrighteous life. This lesson is with him. So with this lesson he further goes. Further does experiments with the world. The world is a laboratory. You're going on doing experiments. So what is his knowledge now? Hard work is happiness, clean money is happiness. So with this knowledge he further lives. And with this life he becomes very prosperous, very successful in life. His business expands everywhere, all over the globe. He is a multi-billionaire. But then somewhere he finds that there is hollowness within. I am not happy, though I have money. My children are settled. Everything is fine, big house, servants, but somewhere there is emptiness. Then somewhere this mother nature herself guides to the next stage. He gets the taste of selfless service. Somewhere he donates some money and he finds that there is great peace. He does some selfless service to some, in some orphanage or poor children. Something he does, some money he gives, and he finds great joy. So what does joy mean? Joy means the path is right. So then he does some selfless service and he finds great joy. And that joy forces him to do such actions more and more. He gets more and more involved in selfless service. Now what is his knowledge? Money is not happiness. Selfless service is happiness. Giving is happiness. Taking is not happiness. Giving is happiness. Serving is happiness. Now his knowledge has changed. So with this knowledge, what will he do? Again serve. And with service, what will happen? When you do selfless service, the mind becomes extremely pure, and such a pure mind starts seeking answers to questions of life. What are the questions of life? Where have I come from? What is the purpose of my life? Who is God? Why am I miserable? What should I do? Why there is so much of suffering in this world? Is God exist or not? If He is existing, then why is so partial? Good people are suffering, bad people are enjoying. These all questions come. These questions come in a pure heart. Right? Now when these questions come, what happens? Mother Nature herself, by the influence of dravya, under the influence of kala and swabhava, what happens? He comes to some satsang. He is exposed to satsang, where he gets the answer to all his questions. And now what is the knowledge? Now this knowledge he gains from satsang. Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan mukti. Somewhere, by the grace of God, because of his pure mind, because of his punya done in ananta koti janma, in the language of Bhagavan Shankaracharya, when your punya becomes, full, then you get satsang, then you get a guru, then you get such environments where you have enough time, you have energy, you have interest in such spiritual matters. You start gaining knowledge, and this knowledge makes everything clear to you in life. Now see, again the knowledge has changed. Now what is his knowledge? His knowledge is, happiness is not outside, happiness is my own true nature. But if I want to experience this happiness, mind has to be pure. In order to purify the mind, I should live a life of karma yoga. So now this person is working hard in the world, not for anything else, but for only one thing, chittasya shuddhaye karma, natu vastu upalabdhaye. He performs all action for purification of mind. He is not performing action to change the world or transform the world. No. The purpose is only one, let my mind get purified. In the process, others may be benefiting, good. But my priority is not the results of the world, my priority is my own purification of the mind. So with this knowledge he functions, mind becomes extremely pure, it becomes sattvic. With this sattvic mind, he gains his great knowledge. What is the knowledge? I am Ananda Swarupa. Knowing, desiring, doing, experiencing. Now he has experienced Ananda Swarupa. He has known that Ananda Swarupa is my nature. Now after that what? After knowing, next step is desiring. Now is there any desire left? The cycle breaks. But there is no desire. Why there is no desire? Happiness is me. Now when the desire stops, what stops? Action stops. So there is no action, there is no desire. Now what is the purpose for which now he should come back again to this world? Why should he create the world again? The purpose of world is only one. The purpose of world is to give you experience and take you to this knowledge. Now once the knowledge has come, the mind stops creating. Remember, this Jiva is none other than Ishvara, who through his creative power is creating the entire cosmos. Now there is no more any need to create, because the purpose of all creation is happiness. That happiness he has gained in himself. In such an absolutely quiet mind, contented mind, fulfilled mind, the mind which is absolutely quiet, there is no more any vibration. Such a mind shows the truth as it is. And what is the truth? There is no world. The world was nothing but what is seen by a disturbed mind, disturbed by sattva, rajas and tamas. Now the mind is quiet. You come to know that what exists is not the world. World was only a distorted form of the truth. Distorted by the distorting medium called the mind. There is nothing called world. What exists is only consciousness, which is Sat, Chit, Anand. The example given for this in Upanishad is the fireball being rotated fast. So when you rotate this fireball very fast, what do you see? You see a ring of fire. So in the beginning you think that this ring is very solid because you don't know the truth. Isn't it? So you think that there is actually a ring, a fire ring. But then slowly what happens? When you start slowing down the rotating speed, slowly, the ring disappears. What exists? Only fireball. In the same way, when the mind is vibrating very fast, everything appears to be solid. This world appears so solid. But as the vibration of the mind, as the disturbance of the mind quietens down, Just like how that solid ring disappeared, in the same way the world also disappears. And what is, that alone will be present. What is only Sat Chit Ananda Atma, pure consciousness. Right? So, creation is for whom? Creation is not for Jnani, not for the liberated ones. Creation is only for Ajnani. And what is the purpose of creation? This world helps us evolve. As long as we have not gained the ultimate knowledge, we will have to come back again and again till we correct this knowledge in various stages, and ultimately we come to know that the self itself is the source of happiness. There may be many stages. Tamasic stage will be there. When there is tamasic stage, a tamasic world will be formed around you, under the effect of Kala and Swabhava. The dravya around you will be a tamasic dravya. A dravya, what you call? A tamasic environment. And as you grow into rajas, a rajasic world will be formed around you. Remember, this world is nothing but an expression of the mind. So rajasic mind will create a rajasic world for you. A sattvic mind will create a sattvic world for you. Who is creating everything? Me, myself. How am I creating? I am the Lord of the universe, though I may not know it. The moment you desire, your desire is fulfilled because you are none other than the Lord of Maya. The Maya has to create for you because you have asked. Whatever you ask, Maya being Brahmashraya, she is the servant of Brahman, and you are Brahman, and you are ordering this world, that world. Maya has no choice, she has to create it for you. So whatever we are going through in life, remember, we are only creating for ourselves. Whether it is happiness or sorrow. You are creating because you have the power to create. You have the power to create because you are Lord of creation. Right? Now, how does this creation happen? That is the next topic. So this is the fundamental. Right? With this fundamental, what all happens with the disturbance in the vasanas, with the disturbance in the guna, that is the further explanation, which we will take tomorrow. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.